Good evening and welcome to the news. A group of boys from different post-secondary schools and English River Secondary School participated in several talks today to commemorate International Men's Day. There was a talk held at the English River Secondary School whereby some men came to share their testimony on how they've become the men they are today. The activity was organized by the English River District Administration in collaboration with the school. Another activity was held at the STC conference room. The Ministry of Youth, Sports and Family organized the day-long talk session. Among the topics addressed are men and spirituality, the signs of suicide, and making boys positive men in the future. 264 visitors arrived in the country this morning on board the first ever direct flight from Chengdu, China, to Seychelles. This was a chartered flight operated by Sichuan Airline. Amongst the visitors was a delegation of senior officials from the Chengdu government, a group of entrepreneurs who will be participating in the exhibition that the Ministry for Investment, Entrepreneurship and Industry is organizing to commemorate Entrepreneurship Week, and tourists who are visiting Seychelles for the first time. Present to welcome the flight were Minister Sylvestre Adegon, Minister Devika Vidot, the Chinese ambassador to Seychelles, Lin Nan, and the Principal Secretary for Tourism, Shirin Francis, amongst others. The Deputy Mayor of Chengdu, Wang Qian, said the flight shows China's commitment to continuously strengthen its relations with Seychelles. He was speaking through an interpreter.
This flight is organized by the Chengdu government and are joined by business delegation, Chengdu residents delegation, and also passengers from Beijing and Shanghai. You know, we feel like a really big family on the flights. We have the shared aspiration to enjoy the beautiful island of Seychelles. And during the whole flight, I see joy and excitement from the passengers. And before we landed, we held a small ceremony where we cut a big cake to celebrate this great moment, to witness and to put this beautiful trip into our memory. You know, from the map, if we look at the map, the distance between Chengdu and Seychelles is very long. But actually, by traveling this flight, I see that our relations is very, very close.
The World Bank's country director for East and Southern Africa, Dr. Victoria Kwakwa, paid a courtesy call on President Wavel Ramkalawan at State House this morning. The Minister for Finance, Nadi Hassan, was also present at the meeting. On her mission in the country, Dr. Kwakwa has visited armoring projects on the coast of Ansoyal and La Plaine Saint-André. She said that the World Bank will assist Seychelles to cope with the effects of climate change, as well as with social development projects based on the agreed 2025 to 2030 action plan.
We discussed a couple of issues. The first was really around climate. Seychelles, climate vulnerability, particularly the issue of coastal erosion, and what the government is doing about it, and what we could bring to the table on this. And I think the sense was we need to continue to look at the experience to date, what needs to be changed, what needs to be modified, learn from other countries, learn from science, and even what was done in the past. His Excellency the President said the ancestors of Seychelles knew about this and did things that were good for the environment. So building on that, learning from science, learning from others, and how we can help continue to raise this game. We spoke about the social issues and some of the social challenges that the country faces. Youth at risk, the youth vulnerabilities, whether it's drug use, whether it's teenage pregnancy, and congratulated the government for this action plan that has been agreed on the basis of very solid analytic work, which we're happy to have contributed to, that really looks at the problem in a very holistic and a deep way to propose solutions. And this action plan which will be led, implementation of which will be led by a cross-government steering committee. So it's a problem of government as a whole.
Empowering change, addressing gender-based violence, implementation of a new law, and protecting the vulnerable is the theme of a one-week workshop which is being attended by some 40 women from different sectors of society. The workshop is a collaboration between the United States Embassy, which is based in Port Louis, Mauritius, and the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Family. While launching the workshop at the Kempinski Resort at Belazar, the Principal Secretary for Family, Mike Morel, said that gender-based violence is a global issue that affects millions of people across the world, primarily women and girls, but also men and boys.
Since the enactment of the Domestic Violence Act, the Department of Family Affairs has been working tirelessly with its partners to ensure its effective implementation. A technical committee comprising various stakeholders present here today was established to identify and address challenges in the implementation process. This collaboration has allowed the family department to maintain open and productive dialogue with all partners involved. The next step is for each sector to develop its own standard operating procedures, complemented by a comprehensive working together manual to foster cohesive collaboration among stakeholders. Nonetheless, one of our main challenges is the establishment of the gender-based violence shelter, which is still a pivotal point for the full implementation of the Domestic Violence Act. The government is still in the process of establishing the right model for the shelter. And fortunately, the Seychelles have seen an unprecedented rise in the level of GBV in men and women alike. In 2023, statistics from the police indicated that there were 333 cases of physical, social, emotional, psychological, and economic abuse, with the majority of cases being female, 260 cases. As we strategize on effective ways to address this situation, we are proud to co-host this gender-based violence workshop designed to empower change and to equip participants with the knowledge and skills needed to protect the most vulnerable members of our community.
We've come to the end of this news summary. Thank you for watching.